When it comes to preparation for labor and delivery, the process can be quite daunting, especially for your first pregnancy. I mean, even for your second and third pregnancy, you may not know what to do, especially because every pregnancy is different. In this video, I'm going to talk about the general things that you have to do when you are preparing for labor. And that does not necessarily start, the week before labor or the day before. You have to start from the beginning of the pregnancy. First, let's start with prenatal care. You want to make sure when it comes to prenatal care that you are attending each and every scheduled appointment, because you are going to have a lot of those. Make sure to attend each and every one of them, because it is in this time that the health of your baby, the weight and everything is being monitored, and your health as well as the mother, so you don't want to miss any one of those. And the second thing is you having your prenatal vitamins that you are advised to actually start whilst you're trying for the pregnancy and continue them throughout the pregnancy. Health and nutrition. First, when it comes to food, you have to eat a balanced diet, a lot of vegetables, because, constipation is quite common in pregnancy because of all the hormonal changes. So you want to eat the healthy foods, vegetables, fruits, your fish, it contains omega-3 fatty acids. And you also want to drink a lot of water. When you are pregnant, you are at a higher risk of developing UTIs. Because again of the hormonal changes and all the changes that happen in your body. Drink lots of water, hydrate, and exercises. You wanna go for moderate exercises. You don't want to do anything too intensive, too extra. Just stick to the moderate exercises such as walking, swimming, and yoga. But speak to your doctor first. Before you do any exercises, consult your doctor, speak to your doctor, see what's available and what's most suitable for you. Now, education, right? You have to make sure that you enroll into childbirth classes and also breastfeeding classes. In those childbirth classes, they're going to be teaching you about the process of labor, the breathing techniques, pain relief. And breastfeeding classes, they're basically going to teach you how to breastfeed your baby, the best ways to breastfeed your baby, and all of that. So these classes are very important. I know they might sound like, well, okay, do I need to go for classes when, I can just watch something somewhere? Yes, it's important that you educate yourself on the side, but every labor ward, in the places that I've worked so far, they always have those classes in certain kind of days. You'll be told about the classes when the classes are, and enroll in those classes. They're very helpful because nobody is going to teach you or, what to do, how to breathe and how to push and all of that. But most of the classes are actually held by the midwives, and they're very much experienced when it comes to these things. So attend your class. Mental preparation. You have to be prepared mentally, meaning you have to make sure that you have a birth plan, right? On your birth plan, you're going to, talk about what you want your labor to look like. Who do you want to be present when you are giving birth? And also stress management. When it comes to stress management, your birth plan, don't forget to give it to your midwife or to give it to your OBGYN, right? I think they will also ask you about that. What's your birth plan? What do you want when it comes to labor, pain management and everything? So make sure that you have that and it's given to your doctor or your midwife. Secondly, stress management. You have to learn how to manage your stress when you are pregnant if you haven't already learned that before pregnancy, because pregnancy can be quite a stressful time in a woman's life. You have to make sure that you are doing your meditations, you are doing your prayers, you are doing all sorts of things that will help you mentally to manage your stress, because you don't want to get to the point of giving birth and you're all worn out mentally, or you're stressed out, and the whole process of giving birth on itself is quite stressful. So you can imagine carrying all the stress to your labor. You don't want to do that. So learn how to manage your stress effectively during pregnancy if you haven't learned that before, so that you have an uneventful, beautiful delivery process. The next thing is hospital preparation, and this includes you making sure that you are familiar with the place that you're going to be delivering at. You can take a tour around the place, walk around, you find the parking space that you're going to be parking at when you give birth, and also, the rooms around the hospital. Just make sure that you are familiar with the place so that when you come, in labor and pain, you're not all stressed out trying to find where you are going and all of that. The other thing that you must do is have your hospital bag all ready and prepared. You put your important documents in there, you put your toiletries, you put your, things for the baby, clothes for the baby, and stuff for your partner, just to make sure that, everything is prepared and is ready. I have seen that most women will prepare their hospital bag, weeks or months before they give birth, which is very important, and put in there your, most important documents such as your ID and all of your hospital documents. And medical preparations. This is the most important part, okay? Know the signs of labor. Know when you are in labor and know when to contact your medical provider. Okay, if you're living too far away from the hospital, you might want to go early. But if you're living close by, they will let you know that call us or, come to the hospital if your contractions are maybe 5 minutes apart or if they're 4 minutes apart. And again, depending on your individual situation, because we know that sometimes you're supposed to come early if your water ruptures or just at the beginning of labor. If, for example, you have streptococcus and you will need antibiotics. So know the signs of labor. Make sure to discuss delivery options with your gynecologist. This happens. I think your healthcare provider is going to bring this one up. If you want to have a cesarean section because you already had a cesarean section, you can have an elective one, but discuss the options with your doctor. I'm just giving an example. Discuss the options with your doctor. If, am I going to try to deliver normally or vaginally, or am I going to just choose the cesarean sections? What are the pros? What are the cons? Be open with your midwife or your OBGYN and really talk about the options that you have. Home preparation. This might sound like, the most obvious things to do, but when you're pregnant, you have a lot of things to do. And one of those things is to prepare your home for your new coming baby, and that is making sure that their room, their crib or whatever is nicely prepared and it's safe for your baby. And a car seat, get a car seat. And I know it sounds very obvious, and I think it's actually very obvious because many women are going to do that, but just to mention that this is one of the stuff that you should prepare whilst you're still pregnant, because you don't want to run around last minute trying to find out where you're going to keep your baby or what you are going to be doing when it comes to, putting them in your car. So as early as possible, do all these things. Support network. Having a support system is underrated. Many women after giving birth go through all this, postpartum depression and even psychosis, just because it can be quite an isolating moment in a woman's life. But if you prepare well for the support system, who is going to be helping you with your baby, your partner, or some of your friends, make sure that you speak to people in your cycle. If you don't have a partner to help you with the baby, speak to your friends, speak out, don't hold back and be shy and say, I'm just going to handle everything by myself, because it can be quite overwhelming. So make sure that you have your support system in order when it comes to helping you with the baby, and also just mentally, people to hang around with, people to socialize with, even though you have a new baby. And that's probably going to be most of what you are doing every day. But make sure that you have your support system in order and that you don't completely isolate yourself. Health monitoring. Make sure that you are watching the movements of your baby. during pregnancy, make sure to watch, and actually monitor the movements of your baby. If there are any issues, you don't feel the movements of the baby, report to your healthcare worker or whoever it is, your gynecologist, your midwife. Inform them if you suspect anything with the movements of the baby, and or some kind of pain coming up during pregnancy. Make sure to immediately report it to your healthcare provider so that they check and make sure that your baby is fine and doing well, or if there's any other intervention that they need to do, so that they do it well on time. Your healthcare conditions. If you have any pre-existing health conditions, actually it's advised that you see your doctor before you attempt to get pregnant, that they make sure that if you are diabetic, that your diabetes is well controlled. If you have high blood pressure, that your high blood pressure is well controlled before you fall pregnant. And even when you're pregnant, you have to make sure that this existing health conditions are well monitored and well controlled. And if you ever develop, because in pregnancy it's possible to develop pregnancy-induced diabetes or hypertension, or gestational diabetes or pregnancy-induced hypertension. So you make sure that all of those conditions are well controlled and well monitored. If you need to be on medication, make sure that you're taking your medications. And we spoke about nutrition and hydration. All of that will help you when it comes to any pre-existing health conditions. Final preparations. I spoke about making sure that you find your way around the hospital and where you're going to be giving birth. So the final preparations, again, confirm and make sure that you know where you're going, where you're going to park your car, and where you're going to be giving birth. And the second thing, have the emergency numbers close by. Put them on your phone and write them on paper in case anything happens with your phone. Have the emergency numbers in case you need to contact those people. Emergency numbers meaning the number for the hospital, or your husband or your friend or your mom's number close by. Have those numbers, right here in case anything happens, okay? I hope that this was a useful video. It all may sound cliche, like, okay, we all know this is what we all do, but I understand that not everybody has the access to this kind of information, or not everybody has, the luxury to have all of the stuff that I just spoke about. But yes, again, contact your healthcare provider. Make sure that the advice that you're getting and that you are implementing during your pregnancy is, specific for you. Okay, so that is why you need to have your gynecologist or your midwife. Don't say I'm just gonna, because nowadays I understand that everything is so natural, which is understandable and which I think is great. But just because you're going to be giving birth at home does not mean that you don't have to attend your prenatal care and everything, because yes, you need it. Yes, you need somebody to monitor the health of your baby and to monitor your health. So go ahead and subscribe if you like this video, and there'll be more coming.